you can only do so much at one time where you just prioritize the thing that's right in front of you, where there's a million different things.
I find this big box of card magazines, probably like 400. I'm like, these things are just collecting dust, and they were like $4 to $5 a pop. Like, I'm just gonna give them all away.
Yeah.
Before you know it, I'll still get text messages. Someone will be all the way at the beach, or someone will be in DC, and they'll be like, dude, I saw another one of your flipping card magnets. Why do you have card magnets in DC?
Just talking, and we're like, look, worst case scenario, if everything goes, to the ground, at the end of the day, it's the boys, like it's the vibes that Luis brings, and it's just about having those people around you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Maynor, Zona Football.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, welcome to the common thread. So, just really start, quick background, who you are. I know we got some other guys on the team here. We're definitely going to give them a shout out. So maybe just a really quick explanation for the audience, who you are, what you do, why you're here.
So soccer is, I'm from Hispanic background, so soccer's in our blood. Grew up playing it. Wasn't always great, right? My brother, I think I told you my brother, he was just better than me. And I looked up to him. Wanted to be like him, eventually just grew to love the game. Long story short, played club, high school, college, and then the way Zona started, lost my job, needed to make some money, and I was applying everywhere. Nothing was hitting, and my boy Danny, best friend since kindergarten, gives me a bag of balls and my first client, and then it just, by the grace of God, just started snowballing, and now we're here.
Shout out to Danny. Yeah. There we go.
Oh,
Who's also mic'd up. That's awesome. And you, this is all taking place where geographically?
So I was born and raised Charlotte, North Carolina. Zona is based out of Fort Mill, which is right across the border.
Okay.
Maybe about like 15, 20 minutes from Charlotte, depending on where you're at.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. So it's been really cool to kind of get to learn more about Zona Football, what you do, why you do it. So I think your guys' origin story is really cool. So could you speak a little bit more about your relationship with Danny and with Louise, who's also here in the building, and kind of how Zona got its origin, how it started?
So very interesting. So me and Danny, we've been best friends since kindergarten. We got in trouble because we were making Lego guns, and we actually got like timeout or red card or whatever. I don't know what it was back then.
You got detention.
Yeah. So we couldn't go to recess or whatever. But so we go way back. I was the best man at his wedding. He'll be the best man at my wedding, which I'm getting married soon. So
congrats.
About that. And then it's a community, right? It's the boys. We help the community, the kids in the area. We've even developed a men's team where we play cash prizes. We haven't won yet, but we're gonna win one.
Gonna win at some point.
And Luis is like a vital part. He's always there, no matter what. If somebody's missing, he's there. If we need a bag of balls, he's always the first one to volunteer to be there. So you always need somebody like that on your team.
Absolutely.
Always need somebody like that.
So talk to me a little bit about Zona Football. What do you guys do? What type of training do you offer? Kind of walk us through some of those offerings and services you guys do.
So as of right now, we have individual training, like the more private, the one-on-one. We have group settings, which we call our Zona Development Academy. And we also have clinics and camps throughout the year as well. So we're operating year-round. We like to pride ourselves in the fact that what you're doing inside of the sessions genuinely has a purpose.
Yeah.
Right? If we're making you go through this cone or through this gate, receive the ball in this way, it's for a specific reason. Now, all of our coaches are either still playing at a high level, we're still ballers, like we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about, or we've coached at a high level. So Danny, he's been in the club level for a couple of years now. He's killing it. A lot of my guys are in college as well. I played in college. So we're very intentional about how we design our sessions, and we pride ourselves in the fact that those will translate to the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. So today has been an awesome day, So we've gotten to spend a couple hours together, learn about the business, talk, share ideas. What are some things from kind of our chat today, getting to know each other, that have been surprising to you maybe?
Yeah.
Thinking through your role, not just as a private trainer, but as a business owner, entrepreneur.
Yeah. Man, you definitely opened up my eyes to a lot of things. Like so many things you don't think about. Like you said, more than just a soccer coach for business owners. And you can only do so much at one time, where you just prioritize the thing that's right in front of you, where there's a million different things. So we couldn't go to recess or whatever. But So I think when the fact that we got to sit down and you took your time, asked us great questions, definitely a great listener as well.
Thank you.
And the fact that the advice that you've given us, I think whenever I leave here, I already know for sure what I need to get done or where I need to prioritize my time, so that we can continue to take Zona to the next level and hopefully become, something like Soccer Genome.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind sharing, like, what are some of those kind of things that really stood out to you as far as like just things you took for granted or didn't realize that after we had a chance to kind of work through some of that was like, oh my gosh, like next month, right?
Yeah.
We're going into the summer, like we got to start doing this.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was the offer and the metrics, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, again, as a business owner, right now, our main focus is trying to give us as many sessions, great sessions, prioritize the athletes, but it's not scalable, right? Now, you really opened our eyes to that. You asked me, what was our growth rate? Or, so how many people are coming in new every month? How many people are you losing? What percentage is that? And I was like,
I don't know.
I have no idea. So I think just that alone, getting more clarity on your numbers, I'll then be able to make more educated bets.
Decisions,
Educated risks.
Yeah.
Right, where it's like, hey, we have X amount of capital. We can predict that we'll have, X percent growth rate. We can definitely make the safe bet, whether it's a facility or whatever the case.
So one thing that I thought was, really encouraging and pretty exciting was this reality of being an entrepreneur. There's so many things where it's like, well, we'll just do it and we'll ask for forgiveness later. Like we're just gonna go after it. And how if you're too focused on problems or objections or why something might not work, it's like you're just never gonna do it.
Never.
Right? And so talk to me a little bit about that balance between like having the courage to just go after the thing, because again, the reality is you guys are going after the thing. There's a lot of people who would never do what you guys are doing. That makes it not easier though, right? Like that still makes it very hard because you're looking at everybody else like, everybody else is doing it completely different from us. We're taking risks. We have no idea what we're doing, but we know we're delivering something great. Can't always explain what it is, but we know it's there. So walk me through some of kind of that thought process of like the risks you have to take and just like the discomfort you have to deal with.
So, yeah, definitely. I would say nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right. So I had just talked to you about how I invested money in some jerseys and no money came out of that.
Yeah.
So, and at this point, it's there's no guarantee in anything.
Yeah.
So I think being able to take those risks, and as an entrepreneur, you just got to figure it out, right? So maybe it wasn't the best decision, but now the way I look at it, and thanks to your help as well, it's like, okay, what can I do now that it's over?
Yeah.
What's the next best step that I can take? And I think that's what it's all about, like taking that risk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we had a similar funny situation where we bought a bunch of car magnets with our logos. And this is probably 2020, 2021. And we had always kind of had some magnets, but we always tried to sell them for like $5. Like, who wants to buy somebody else's business magnet and put it on their car? And so I find this big box of car magnets, it's probably like 400. I'm like, these things are just collecting dust, and they were like $4 to $5 a pop. Like, I'm just gonna give them all away. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, SG parents are like, you'll never guess what happened. I was driving down the road all the way in Cary, and I saw another SG car magnet. Yeah. And then as time went on, I was like, oh, like, we should just start buying these and giving them away for free. And before you know it, I'll still get text messages. Someone will be all the way at the beach, or someone will be in DC, and they'll be like, dude, I saw another one of your flipping car magnets. Why do you have car magnets in DC? Or like, why are they at the beach? But that all came about because we bought a bunch of things that sat in a closet for like 2 years collecting dust. And it's like, well, gotta pivot, gotta do something new. So what are some of those ways that you feel like you've had to pivot other than like, hey, we got jerseys, now we gotta pivot, we gotta give them away?
Man, so especially early days, anybody else, I'm sure you've run into this, whenever you're starting a soccer business or training, you don't have field space.
Yeah.
Right. So man, there's been so many times where I've gotten kicked off the fields. It feels unprofessional.
Yeah.
It's you obviously want to give like be very professional, and getting kicked off is not a good look.
It's not a good look. It also just kind of sucks. It's like, I'm helping this kid get better.
I know,
like,
right?
Let us use the field.
Nobody using the field.
Yeah.
And somebody's coming over saying, yeah, you didn't rent this, you got to go.
Yeah.
But one thing I did is I figured the field that we train at, there's turf fields and there's grass field. Nobody's ever on the grass field, so I just thought, okay, I can't get on the turf. What's the next best thing? And I just invest in a some more equipment to make it look more legit. It's just everything that the athlete would need on the grass.
Yeah.
Just had to pivot.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really good example. So obviously you brought your team with you today. They're off camera, but they are mic'd up. Walk me through, you've already briefly talked about the importance of like the team and how like if it hadn't been for Daniel giving you his bag of balls and a couple of his clients when he pivoted to go somewhere else, there wouldn't be Zona. I think we all have those stories. Walk me through, you know, how you guys function as a team, why the team's special, where you hope the team can go.
Yeah.
And then you guys can also chime in as well. We're going to put those mics to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually we're going to make Maynor stay quiet. What do you think, Daniel?
Man, I think everything happens for a reason. I'm happy to be the person that gave him the balls.
Yeah.
If I could do it again, I would.
Yeah.
I just wish I had more equipment and more clients.
Yeah.
So
Those are coming.
Yeah.
Those are coming.
Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna start doing. But yeah, great things to come. Super excited after all this conversation and everything that you told us.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So it's great to be here. Great experience.
Awesome. Time to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now after being here, I feel like Zona's gonna take a bigger step. You know, I can already feel it in the vibes.
You feel the vibes?
I feel the vibes.
Oh my gosh. So Luis, introduce yourself to the audience because they don't know about the Vibe Man yet.
All right, man. I'm just Luis. You know, everybody in the group, Zona called me Sapin. So it's just a little background story. You know, but I'm just here. You know, to be like the supportive person. You know, anybody needs a hand or anything, I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just here to cheer the group and the kids. Just, you know, an amazing opportunity to be with Maynor and Danny here. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, I think, you know, the longer you're going along in business, I think you see this in sport, you see this in community, but having people for the ups and downs who both share the ups, but then they carry the burdens when things aren't great or before the things are big, and they're like that person in the corner when you have the self-doubt, they're like, nah, dude, like we're getting after it today, you know? Are so important, and it's been really cool today because I actually thought just Maynor was coming today. I didn't know the whole team was coming.
Yeah, it was actually last minute.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I think that was great. And so again, just seeing your guys' kind of team camaraderie is like super encouraging and cool. And I think that it's such an important piece because the times are going to be hard. Things will happen that you can't prepare for. You know, I think today was an awesome step in just my own journey, getting to have you guys in and validate some things that I've worked through in my business. But that doesn't mean they work in other businesses, and have a chance for you guys to open up and share like, hey, this is what we're going through. This is what we're thinking about. And how in some areas of your business, you guys are way ahead of where we were when we started. But that there's other areas that's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about this. And now my brain's going wild because there's all these things I got to fix, you know, or all these systems we got to create, things we got to improve. But ultimately, man, like life is so short, so it really is about that group of people that you go through life with that matters.
That's
most.
funny. We were talking about that last night. So again, shout out my soon-to-be wife.
Hey,
getting married,
call her
so
out by name.
We had Angela. Yeah, shout out Angela. She's amazing. But we had a mini like bachelor party last night, and we just had like a very intimate moment. And at the end of the day, like we were just talking, and we are like, look, worst case scenario, if everything goes, you know, to the ground, at the end of the day, it's the boys, like it's the vibes that Luis brings, and it's just about having those people around you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's really cool. So I think you guys have your work cut out for you, right? Super exciting because on the other end of all of that work is massive opportunity and growth. What do you envision the next 3 to 6 months looking like at Zona?
lots of work, lots of restructuring, not just for the sake of restructuring, but now we have a lot more clarity. Now, like you mentioned, what worked for you might not work for us, so there's obviously going to be a little bit of testing.
Yeah.
But I definitely think these next 3 to 6 months are going to be crucial. Club season's ending, so summer's going to be huge for us, right?
Yeah.
Where we're figuring out what is truly what makes Zona different.
Yeah.
Like when people think of Zona, we need to make sure they know what we stand for.
Yeah.
So I think that might even be one of the biggest pieces of advice that you gave to us. what makes you different from everybody else.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's one big takeaway from today from the standpoint of what it takes to be an entrepreneur and, you know, a brand owner, right? So I shared earlier in the meeting, that was a framework I did not view myself as for the first, 11 years of Soccer Gino. Like, I didn't view myself primarily as a business owner and entrepreneur. So what is, like, those 1 to 2 things that if, a young player is watching this, if someone's thinking about getting into the private training space, what would be those 1 to 2 things that you've already learned as a business brand owner, entrepreneur, that you would share that would help them in that journey?
That's a great question. The first thing for sure is you can plan for anything, but that doesn't guarantee that
Nope.
it's going to happen.
Nope.
Just like in a game,
Yep,
right?
yep.
You could train the same V-drag around a cone, I guess is first silly example, but that doesn't mean it's going to work in a game.
Bernardo Silva gets a red
Yeah.
card against Madrid 5 minutes in the second leg of the Champions League.
Yeah.
I'm still bitter about that. Continue.
But
I digress.
yeah, no, just the fact that things are bound to go wrong, and you got to be able to stomach that,
Yeah.
and be able to pivot quickly.
Yeah.
I think that's, speed is everything.
Yeah.
Right. So you make a decision, you stick with it, and if it wasn't the right decision, guess what? You have another decision to make, and you just got to go with it.
Adapt, learn,
Yeah.
and move.
You got to be adaptable.
That's
the
awesome.
best players are adaptable.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. Man, that's super cool. So, it's been awesome getting to know all 3 of you guys today. This has been great.
Likewise.
Big shout out to our guy Theo for getting
Yeah.
this all set up so that we've got some great content.
Theo's great.
Theo's not mic'd
Yeah.
up, but we're gonna shout Theo out. And yeah, man, looking forward to continuing a relationship with you guys and watching Zona grow and getting after it, man.
Yeah, man,
Awesome.
I'm excited, and again, thank you for all
Yeah,
the
of course.
time, wisdom, and knowledge you poured into us. So yeah, we got our work to do, but
Time to get to
definitely-
work.
Yeah,
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Well, thanks for being on the podcast. Yeah. And cut.